The Winterfest update is finally here, and along with it, some insane meta changes to Fortnite. I'm going to talk about the return of Chug Splashes and Chili Chug Splashes and whether you should be using them. I also want to recap the tournaments from the last few days. We had Mongraal making his first solo finals, Mr. Savage almost winning the solo tournament, Clix almost not qualifying to one of the weirdest bugs I've ever seen, and we have our last trio finals taking place today, who I think is going to do well and which teams are struggling right now. We also have news of a big region swap from one of EU's best pros moving to NA. There's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Are you trying to improve at Fortnite, but you just don't know where to begin? You're watching YouTube guys, you're practicing your mechanics, but you just don't know what's going wrong. Well, that's where the sponsor of today's video, Blitz, comes in. All you have to do is download the Blitz app and run it on the background of your PC. It'll break down all of your stats like damage done, damage taken, headshot ratio, and it'll even do this per weapon, so you can figure out which weapons you need to improve on. Not only that, it'll then compare it to other players of different ranks or even the pros, so you really know what you need to work on. It also has a bunch of useful tools like finding the best drop spot. We have a whole bunch of new updates coming out, and when the map changes, you might not know where's the best new drop. There might be a new chest, a new location. That's where Blitz comes in. You can check where all of this loot is and try to figure out the best loot path. Maybe you're a little bit further down the line in progression. You're playing in tournaments and you're worrying about Storm Surge. Blitz can even keep track of how much damage you and your teammate have done, so you can keep track of how you're looking on Storm Surge. You can even see your teammates' loadouts if you need to figure out how many meds they're carrying, or you're a little bit panicked in endgame and you need to know if they have a med kit. Blitz will also work on a whole bunch of your other favorite games like Deadlock, Apex Legends, and Valorant. Download the Blitz desktop app for PC, try it out using my link in the description down below. I've already talked about Mariah Carey defrosting in the Winterfest update, but one thing we didn't know was coming was the return of Chug Splash, and this is very big, especially for competitive. So regular Chug Splashes are back in the game. They are floor loot and chest loot, but we have Chili Chug Splashes dropping out of regular chest and rare chest. Now, this is a massive game changer for trios, especially just the fact that they are regular splashes everywhere. I swear almost every trio is gonna have like 18 or more of them. I'm not kidding. They are so easy to find, and when they heal your whole trio is pretty insane. This is going to make people carry the water sprite a little bit less, but it does mean there'll be way more loot on the map, because with the extra splashes, you now have the water sprites running around because not as many people are picking them up. Not to mention, if you can get your hands on some Chili Chug Splashes, the rotates are ridiculous. I do really want to see if someone pulls this off in the solo finals. We do only have one more solo finals before the year's over, but I really want to see someone pull off the Chili Chug Splash with the katana, the Typhoon Blade, and the invisibility medallion. So you have infinite invisible sprint with the Typhoon Blade, and you also have the Chili Chug Splash movement. I need someone to make that happen. But as far as people asking me, should I be carrying splashes in trios? Yes, I do think splashes are stronger. While 3 water sprites, bobs as I call them, will heal you for more. They heal you for 50 each. That's only if you get the full use of the heal over time. Most often you're only just popping it for the instant 30, and then you're picking it back up. So 6 Chug Splashes will still beat that out, especially with how fast you can pop them, and the fact that the Chug Splashes won't randomly despawn and disappear when you throw them down like the water sprite does, and it won't randomly run away from you in endgame like the water sprite does. So I do think Chug Splashes are meta. I do think you should be carrying them, and they are going to be very, very strong for the remaining tournaments this season. Now, we've got some tournaments to cover. I want to cover what's going on with the Division 1 qualifiers. I didn't talk about them just yet. Who's playing in the finals that are taking place today as of this video going out. And I want to cover what happened in the solo opens as well. So kicking off with NA with the qualifiers, we had Batman Booga, Mason Niomzo dominate 1,156 points. They played 17 matches, won 4 of them, but they managed to do it with an average placement of 8.6 and an average elims of 15.7. In 17 matches, they played phenomenally well. They managed to beat out, teams like Rapid and Rituals teams by like 200 points. We had Rapid Poyon Bolton second on 983, Ritual Cold and Peterbot in third on 916. So an incredibly stacked top of the leaderboard, the Titans of the region going at it. This 2-round format, I know some people are iffy about it. Sometimes it does make the day 1 feel a little bit less exciting because you've still got all of day 2, but you can't argue with results. These leaderboards going into finals are like grand finals leaderboards every single week. They are so unbelievably stacked. We did also have big performances from the other big teams. Kanata's team coming in 11th overall. We had Bucky's team making another finals in 14th. We did have Clix's team making it through again, but again, Clix is playing with Virgo right now. Rise has been on holidays, so it's not as big of an impact going forward for how that trio is looking because it's not their actual trio. We did have Reed's team make it through again alongside Booga, so it's going to be a very, very stacked finals on NA. I am interested to see, though, it's our first time we've seen Yapko, Quanti, and Edgy qualify. They didn't make it to Division 1 out of the trials, and that is the team that is supposed to be contesting Clix at Warriors. I don't know whether they're going to be still going Warriors. I reached out to Quanti. He just sent me a shush emoji, so I guess we'll have to see what happens there, but we might see Clix spawn fighting in the finals. Now, a big name team we have seen make the finals again, who this week will not be spawn fighting, is Mongraal, Savage, and Panzer. They made the finals over on EU. They came 13th place. They played phenomenally well, and the team contesting them, Huddy's team, did not end up making finals. Now, Mr. Savage has come out and said they do not plan on leaving the Bird. They are going to go to the Bird. They're happy to contest Huddy again. I was a bit sad to hear that. If you guys missed what happened last week, it was a nightmare, but we are not getting a repeat this week. They are going the Bird uncontested. We finally get to see how good this trio looks in a full set lobby finals, well unconned, and I'm so incredibly excited to see that. We had the Danish trio Sky, Revsgard, and Scroll close it out on 930 points. This team has been so unbelievably consistent right now. Speaking of a team that's being consistent, though, CZB, Eclipse, and Nathan, our British boys, they have been the only team, I believe, I'm pretty sure, in the world to now make Div 1 on 3 separate regions. They've done it, if I'm not mistaken, on EU, Middle East, and now NA as well. They are playing phenomenally well. They came second place on EU. Then we have Shark, Zhu, and ZAndy. Now, you might not recognize, one of these names. I hope you know who Zhu and ZAndy are. They are OG goats. They've been around for a long time now. They have been a little bit quiet recently, but picking up Shark and ex-console pro, they are looking ridiculous. Now, Shark is a mouse and keyboard console pro who's now gotten a PC, and obviously that huge boost in performance going from mouse and keyboard console to PC has put him third place on the leaderboard. I'm very excited to see this trio play. Zhu's been streaming everything. I was actually watching him and I was not expecting him to look so unbelievably insane. I think if Zhu was like an OG, so I always think he's going to be a bit more methodical, maybe a little bit slower, more of like an IGL kind of playstyle. No, Zhu is straight up running through people, so it was really fun to see. We had Pablo, Kiro, and Bevies in fourth. Again, Bevies and Pablo have been playing together for chapters now. Really excited to see them back on top of the leaderboards, and then closing out the top 5 with our polls, Pix, Dam, and Demus. Again, maybe not a lot of names you recognize, but the big names are there on EU. We had Tripper and Thomas and Feroxy qualify, Seti, Hari, and Kami. We had Yanis, Noah, and Vidil. We also had OGs coming back to the game. I'm seeing big names like Stormy Right and Default, who've been around but have been playing for so long now. We had iDrop, Trulex, and Tayson qualify yet again. Chap, Chicho, and Teeny made it. Vico, Venom, and Flixie, not the super dominant, first place or top 3 performance we're used to seeing. They qualified in 21st, but they still made finals. I'm very excited to see how they go in finals. With the new Chili Chug Splashes dropping out of the rare chest, their drop at Mosses I think has only gotten even stronger, as they do have a bunch of the rare chests down in that cave. They did it last week. They won while contested, only making us spawn 3 games. If they're unconned, I feel like we could see them run away with it. Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache also just scraped through inside the top 30, so both EU and NA are looking extremely stacked for trios. Moving on over to solos, this is again going to be our last tournament of the season. It's going to be the solo finals. It was pretty tough to qualify this week. A lot of people struggled who were big names, but we did have some big names who didn't make it through last week make it in. We have Mr. Savage and Mongraal playing in their first solo finals of the season. Mr. Savage was busy last week. He couldn't place. That's why he didn't make it. He actually almost won the opens this week. He was in first place for so much of it, and right at the very end fell off right on the last couple games, but he did perform phenomenally well. I do think Savage is a very good chance to earn in the finals, if not a top 3 podium finish. I would love to see Mr. Savage win a solo tournament in Chapter 6. He's looking really good. I know we throw the word prime around a lot, and obviously all of these players get better as Fortnite gets better, but Mr. Savage, even relative to the current player base's skill, genuinely looks like he might be in his prime right now. Really good decision making, very good mechanics, doing it all on stream. I'm super excited to see how they go in finals. Mongraal, on the other hand, just squeaked by. He almost didn't qualify. It came down to the last game. He got a few extra points, and that's what got him in the finals. We'll see if the finals play style plays out a little bit differently. I know Mongraal historically hates playing placement in opens, but that's what you have to do in this format. It's a very placement heavy format, so we'll see whether he can adapt to that play style in the finals. As far as the top of the leaderboard, we had a big name, Chap, 8 games played, winning 4 of them, a 50% win rate with high elims, a 26 elim win in there as well. So Chap looking extremely dominant in solos like he has been in trios throughout chapter 5. We had Pixie in second and then Cheatin in third. Now, as far as the rest of the leaderboard, we have all of our big names. Flixie was in there. Malibuka came top 20 to maybe go for the back-to-back. Alba, I've been gassing her up a whole bunch. She also came 18th in the opens as well. So as far as the big names, most of them made it through on EU. On NA, it was a little bit sketchier. Clix, it came down to Clix's very last game to qualify. Luckily, he got enough points before this happened.
Like, thank God I qualified, because that is insane. Only me. That will only happen to Clix. TP'd. He TP'd right on me and flew me out of zone. Thank God I'm off this game. Love you. We qualified. I'm fucking off. Holy shit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream.
If you don't know what that was, when you throw out the portal of the Void Mask, it has a chance to actually create physics. Like, it can hit people and knock them like it's a player. Sometimes it's when the player teleports through, but I think there's a bug when you try to teleport and it glitches and doesn't send you anywhere. I think if you do that on a player standing next to the orb, it knocks them back. He goes down to full damage. Either way, super unfortunate. Would have been disastrous if this stopped him from qualifying. He made finals, so we'll see if he can do what he did last week. He played phenomenally well, was in the running for winning, struggled a bit towards the end, but I'm excited to see how Clix does in finals this week. As far as the rest of the leaderboard, there is a lot of underrated names, and now I really hope with the lawsuit going on right now, with everything Epic's doing to stop cheaters, that no one would be dumb enough to cheat right now, and people are getting sued for like life-changing amounts of money. But there are some underrated names here at the top 5. I'm pretty sure Razor 1X in first is not cheating, 398 points. I love seeing an actual underrated person pop off and dominate. That's what solos is for. It's a chance for up-and-coming players to prove themselves. If they're passionate enough, they work hard enough, they can dominate. Trios is sometimes hard. You won't always get to play with the best player. Sometimes you get stuck with worse teammates or things are out of your control. But in solos, it's you against the game, and if you play well, you dominate. I do know Jagyu. Jagyu is an ex-NA West pro, I believe, who's doing really, really well now in solos. Super excited to see that. We do still have a lot of the big names up there. Braze came in 6th. We have Cold in 8th, who dropped 2 30 bomb games. He got a 30 elim win and a 33 elim win in the same tournament. If you guys are looking forward to the high kill gameplay, don't worry. I'm gonna have a bunch of react videos coming out. We've got a whole bunch from Cold now. We've got Vico dropping a 30 bomb. Peterbot dropped another 30 bomb. Poyo got a 29. There's been some really pop-off games. We also have Muzz in 13th. We have Visuals up there. We have Peterbot. Again, we also had a fake Peterbot, unfortunately, but the finals is looking extremely stacked. I'm super excited to watch it in this meta. It is going to be our last tournament of 2024, and I don't know why. I just feel like it's going to be a banger. We also have some exciting news of our first region swap in a very long time, it feels like. We now have Vidil confirming he is moving from EU to NA to play the rest of the season with Cooper and Sphinx. It looks like Cooper and Sphinx will be dropping Noxy and picking up Vidil. Now, Vidil's had a bit of a rough start to the season. He wasn't able to find any teammates. Tried to get Savage and Mongol to play with him over Panzer. They decided to play with Panzer, and Vidil just hasn't been able to find a good teammate. He's been trying to get out of Division 3, playing with NA pros like Peterbot, doing really, really well. He said he feels like he's in his prime. He loves the game. He's feeling super passionate, but he just can't find good teammates. So he's actually willing to go to NA to play with good teammates that he can't find on EU. So I'm really excited to see how Vidil goes on NA. He said he's going to be heading to NA after the Christmas break around January 7th once the tournaments start kicking back off again. So we'll see how well Vidil performs on NA. Last time all the EU pros came over, it didn't perform too well. We now have 2 on NA again. Yapko's now playing alongside Quanti, and now Vidil playing alongside Cooper. It's going to be really exciting to see, and I do think Vidil genuinely is looking insanely good right now. I know in the past there's been a lot of talks around Vidil not really grinding Fortnite. He ended up getting Challenger in League of Legends, rated in Valorant. He was playing pretty much anything but Fortnite, but even while doing that, he was still looking insanely good, and right now he is very locked in on Fortnite, playing every tournament, streaming every tournament, multiple regions. I'm excited to see how he goes. I think that could be a really, really solid trio. I don't talk about cosmetics too much on my channel, but obviously the OG skins, we've had the Aerial Assault Trooper and we've had Renegade Raider come back to the store. Everyone keeps asking my opinion. It does suck a little bit for the OG people who owned it, but obviously them bringing it back is going to make Fortnite a bunch of money. I hope some of that trickles down to the comp loot pool, but those of you guys who are OGs, who did own the OG skins, you are getting new styles in 2025. They have confirmed there will be new styles that only OGs get, just like we got with the Ghoul Trooper and Skull Trooper. And honestly, these could potentially be cooler than the original. So hopefully it ends up being a good thing. Everyone got to buy the cool skins. Everyone gets to feel like an OG. I don't think it's the end of the world, but again, I didn't own the OG skins. So maybe my opinion would be different if I own them. If you do buy them though, use code Aussie.